Well, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. It's Thursday night, it's Sports Car Night, live on Motormouth Broadcasting, as you join us for the penultimate round of this season of the High Point Racing IMSA Championship, live from the famed Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, in other words, Imola. My name's Alex Goldschmidt, standing in for Hamish Monroe, who's busy celebrating a little bit of time off at a Welcome Music Festival. I'm joined in the booth by Jim Cunningham. Jim, good evening. What a track we've got for our drivers here tonight.
Yeah, it's Imola. What else do you need to say? By the way, I changed that from saying live from Imola. I put the whole name up there just so that you would have the opportunity to say it, just because I like hearing you say it, even though you probably would have anyway.
I would have done.
I literally typed it in just so I could hear you say that. It's good to be here with you. We're blessed to have you, on board with us. Obviously, when you call in a pinch hitter and you get Babe Ruth, I mean, you can't go wrong there. So it's great to have you here, and it's the penultimate round, and I think a lot of these championships have kind of been decided, and I think typical league racing kind of thing, people fade away, so we don't have that many cars on the grid tonight. But that's kind of typical when the championships get run away with a little bit. But we are sure going to enjoy some multi-class racing here at one of the most historic tracks, ever.
Indeed.
Imola's right up there.
Indeed. Of course, Adam Reed. Hello, mate. I know it's nearly 2 in the morning UK time.
What is he doing?
I don't know. Have you got insomnia a little bit, Adam? But welcome along to the show. Of course, this circuit established back in April of 1953. The address, Piazza Ayrton Senna da Silva. Of course, this was the scene of 2 very tragic accidents back in 1994 when we lost Roland Ratzenberger and, of course, 3-time Formula One world champion Ayrton Senna. This circuit has been in use, the current layout, since 2008. It measures just around about 4.9 kilometers, 21 turns, so 12 to the left, 9 to the right, runs in an anti-clock or counterclockwise direction. As we're coming towards the tail end of qualifying here in the GTP class, as things stand, and there's Kenneth Cloden in the 206 Porsche 963 Hybrid, one of 3 Porsches we've got on the grid here tonight. 3 caddies, 1 Acura, piloted in the number 37 by Landon Stewart. More to the point, we have had a few different winners, Tim Keane being one of them. He won the opening round back in late September at Road Atlanta. Then at Daytona, Navy Thompson then decided in the number 19 car to go on a little bit of a win streak for 2 rounds before Mike Nitti Jr. in the 64 Caddy took the win at Silverstone. Then, well, it has been the Navy Thompson show up until this point, winning at Watkins Glen, Cota, Indy, and then Monza last time out. But there's been a bit more of a different spate of winners in the GT3 Pro and the GT3 Am. It's a 30-minute qualifying session. Pro and Pro Am for GT3 have already been out, but there is Tim Keane in the number 6 Porsche, the same number that we see on one of the Porsche Penske Motorsport cars in IMSA these days.
Non-Porsche winner this season right here.
Yeah.
So that's every round has for the last 2 seasons has been won by a Porsche, with the exception of the rain event at Silverstone, where Mike Nitti Jr. won that race. So. And by the way, we've got Adrian Puebla back this week. I'm not sure that he's been here all this season. He was extremely fast last season, and he's obviously top of the board right now tonight. Good to see him back in a GTP. We missed him this season. He was a perennial front runner last season. It's good to have him back as well. So, we're just about wrapping qualifying up right now, I believe. We'll just save the full results here for the grid. I was going to pull them up real quick, but it'll just kick them right back off. So,
yeah, and Adrian Puebla has been the fastest out on circuit, 1 minute 30.053, 4 tenths quicker than Landon Stewart. Tim Keane a further 7/100ths of a second behind on a 1:35.25. Mike Nitti Jr. His best effort in this qualifying session, 1 minute 33.088. We've got Daniel Nuns and Wig Santiago also running in this, but neither of them have actually set. Well, Daniel's had all of his lap times disallowed by exceeding track limits, unfortunately.
Well,
So is Avery Hart in GT3 Pro in the number 13 Porsche 992 GT3R. But
so
he's fast,
yeah.
but fast can be a little bit of a curse here at Imola, because if you go too fast, miss your braking points, screw up one of the corners, whoops, there's your lap time deleted.
And let's see. Oh, we got a Pro-Am there that's in a new Pro-Am driver, Curtis. I figured that one out.
Polisu,
Yeah,
I think, Canadian chap in the number 12 Aston. So
yeah, I got to straighten his name out. Once I get the Pro-Am off of it, it'll probably show his whole last name if that's not it. But as we're finally finishing up qualifying here, we'll get this grid going, and then I'll fix his name later during the race. But yeah, we got Lucia Tosi, who looks like it's going to be our GTD pole sitter tonight. She is she races in real life, and she's super fast, man. She finished, to tell you how fast she is, she finished third overall at Silverstone in the IMSA race in the rain in a GTD car.
So, I think also won the Okayama 90 at the Screen to Speed event, run by a very, very good friend in the sim racing world, Steffi Bau, former multi-time motocross champion, originally from Italy, now lives, I think, stateside these days. So she's very much campaigning for women in the world of sim racing, and it's good to see Lucia doing a really, really good job. But now that is a wonderful livery. I'm so glad that Daniel Nuns has decided to run with the Hertz Jota livery on that caddy.
So he was is the LMP2 champion, and so he moved up to finish out the season in GTPs since the LMP2 class was already that's Kenneth Culloden going around in the background there. Since it had already been sorted out, Nans decided to step up into the GTP car. So yeah, he did have his laps. He's still struggling, I think, to get a grip on driving this car versus the LMP2. But he's doing a good job. He's still fast. And I just realized the boss isn't even here tonight. Carlos Ruiz is the there he spun out, is the head of the league, but he is I don't see him here tonight. So let's see who we got on track. Oh, everybody's spinning. Gee whiz. Did somebody grease the track? What happened?
I don't know. Well, the track temperature's at 71.6 Fahrenheit, which is about 20.
That's as grippy as you could get right there.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, at least it's not 104 degrees Fahrenheit, because the tires would be absolutely screaming for murder.
Well, we saw that. We saw that recently, didn't we?
Yeah, last night, funny enough, on the round 10 of the Ultimate GT Challenge, which heads to Spa-Francorchamps next Wednesday night. So
a big one too. Yeah, that was great. I mean, what do we have? Like 30? I don't know. 35, 37 cars, something like that last
night? I think we had we had just north of 30. We had 31 in total. Okay. So GT3 Pro, GT3 Pro-Am, and then also the good old lucky GT4s. Nice. Nothing like a bit of GT3. Like it felt like an Ultimate GT Challenge British GT Mega Mix.
That's actually what it's based on. That whole class is based that whole series is kind of based on the old British GT Challenge with the GT3s and GT4s. As we see, this is Lucia here. It's I'm really impressed with her. I've done my best to try to promote her. I've put out a few shorts and reels to try to get her some more social media attention. she's good for racing and sim racing and everything. So, and I believe she's actually a mother as well. So that's trying to handle racing in real life, racing on the sim, and all of that. That's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of sacrifice that people do to get their skills up, and especially Lucia being one of them. As we now concentrate on Curtis Polisu, the man from Canada. Oh, look at that! A little bit of gold on the Aston Martin.
Right?
It's
that's why that's why I pulled it up. I was like, what is that gold car back there? Because he's new, obviously. So yeah, look at that livery, would you?
We might have to nickname that the Scaramanga car after the
right?
man with the golden gun.
That's right, Goldfinger. Scaramanga.
Well, you got gold. You got Goldfinger.
No, not
but
Goldfinger.
Yeah, man with the golden gun.
Yeah. What was?
Oh no, I'm a bit.
Yeah, Goldfinger. What was his real name in the movie? Do you remember? Well, we won't go down that track because you and I could get lost in that quick.
Oh, I know.
Hamish and I got into a James Bond debate the other night.
I knew it was something. I knew it was something weird. I knew it saying the sound. Now the thing is, the chemical symbol letters for gold is AU, and the businessman was called Auric.
Yes.
AURIC Goldfinger.
That's right, Auric Goldfinger. That's right.
Yeah,
and of course the famous pilot, his famous pilot was
Pussy Galore.
Pussy Galore, that's correct.
Yeah, Honor Blackman was the actress that played her, and then you had Odd Job as well.
He was great too, though.
Oh, with the spinning hat.
Yes, Odd Job. He was, with his hat. One of my favorite scenes in that movie, I have to mention it real quick, as warm-up is finished. Yeah, I'll get out of this. I was going to fix his name, but we'll do that later. Was when the golf scene when they were looking for his ball, and Bond had his ball the whole time.
No, when what was it? When they've got him on, when he's got the laser about to cut him up, and he goes,
"Split Bond in half." Yeah,
yeah. He says, "What do you expect me to do? Talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die."
Expect you to die. Yes. All right. Here we go.
Well, on that note, Here we go. We're readying up for the penultimate round. So it's Adrian Puebla and Landon Stewart on the front row. Tim Keane and Kenneth Clodin on row 2. Mike Nittany Jr. and Daniel Nuns round out the top 3 rows, with Wig Santiago 7th. He'll be joined on row 4 by Galaxy Team Esports, Lucia Tosi. And then we've got Christian Ruiz, Jacob Gruber. Then we've got Olivier Charbonneau, John Weinrich rounding out the top 12 on the grid. And then we've got Curtis Polisu, Jason Lepan, and Avery Hartz rounding out the grid. 15 cars about to go into battle. There will be a little bit of a slight distance between the GTPs and the GTDs on this grid. As new for the update, we have the BMW M2 safety car.
Sure do,
so safety cars that we've had, Porsche 911 pace car. I think at one point we had a Chevy Cruze pace car. We even had the truck as well at one point.
Still use the truck in some NASCAR stuff.
Yeah. So, but as you can see, they are weaving from side to side in the GTPs at the moment. Wig Santiago does not look like he's made the grid, but it is going to be Adrian Puebla who will lead the field from the start, as long as he doesn't start pinging all over the place. But look at that livery on that Porsche. Absolutely wonderful. A little bit of white on the front nose, then it's Joseph's amazing Technicolor Dream Coat that coats the rest of it.
That's funny. All right, let's see.
Well, very, very famous musical, if you know.
Oh, yeah.
And if you know, you know. I'm showing my age now, Jim.
You are indeed. My wife and I have regular tickets to the theater, so we do the Broadway at the Hobby Center here in Houston. So we just recently went and saw the Neil Diamond musical.
And there's a live, there's a Hollywood film coming out soon with Neil Diamond being played by the one and only Hugh Jackman. But in the meantime, round 9 here of High Point Racing IMSA is about to get underway here at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, owned Not well, I think possibly owned by the circuit itself, but we are going to go to green here for 60 minutes as Puebla leads the field. As Tim Keane looks like he's trying to go for the inside here at Tamburello, and Tim Keane trying to get back at him. It's going to be side by side as they will head down in towards the famed Variante Villeneuve. And it is looking rather feisty. Clodin, Nuns and Nitti Jr. rounding out the field. Lucia Tosi leads the way, ahead of Jacob Gruber in the number 18 McLaren. Christian Ruiz in the 707 Lamborghini leads the Pro-Ams and is behind Tosi at the moment as they go through out of Torza, up the hill into Piratella, and then we go to one of the difficult complexes as the GTPs head their way down to Acque Minerali. It's going to be hard on the brakes, turn the car in, you've got to be very, very wary of the uphill shot here, and then it's through up towards Variante Alta, and this is where the high sausage curbs do not play well with the suspension on GTP machinery. They both start bumping over it. But Stewart is closing that gap onto Puebla as they will head towards Rivazza. That turns 18 and 19, and Puebla has got a little bit of a gap in ahead of the Acura of Stewart as they will come round as Puebla leads the field across the line in GTP to complete the opening lap here at Imola.
Here, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's do an onboard lap around here. Let's go into the cockpit. This one. True in around the circuit here.
Okay, so running on board with Adrian Puebla for High Point Racing through into Tamburello. Used to be a flat left-hand sweeper, but now it's a triple apex. And then it's the short run from turn 4 into 5, into 6 here at Variante Villeneuve. Then it's a slight uphill climb as we will go into turn 7 here at Torza. And then it's accelerate up the hill once again, up from second, now third, fourth gear, up to fifth, and then just into sixth before you have to go down to third gear, step on the brakes a little bit, rotate the car through the corner, down the hill, up to fourth, up to fifth, now down the gearbox again, through into fourth, now into second gear for the second part of Acque Minerali, up the hill, use the acceleration, use the traction from the rear axle on the Porsche 963 into Variante Alta, using a little bit of that high curb just to get the car straight lined as much as you can through the chicane itself, and then it's down the hill underneath the bridge very shortly, and it's into the final two main turns on this circuit, 18 and 19 at Rivazza. You've got to be very, very careful with the rotation and also the traction application when you apply the throttle. Through turn 20, and then it's going to be turn 21 as they cross the line. That's a hot lap here at Imola.
What a fantastic hot lap that was indeed. You made that a lot of fun. Yeah, this is and Landon Stewart staying right with Puebla. It's really good to see Adrian back on the grid. I really missed him last season. He was a lot of fun, and it's really good to see him back. Looks like we got a little more GTP. Oh, here we go.
Oh, well, we've also had a drama for the number 5 Mercedes Pro-Am GT3 of Oliver Charbonneau, who's gone into the pits as to the inside tries to go Tim Keane at turn 7 at Toza. And Kenneth Clodin, I think, is going to miss. Keane is there. He just about got through on Kenneth Clodin. As now we run on board with the Hertz Jota Cadillac, number 95, Daniel Nance from the USA. LMP2 champion of the series, now up to GTP for this. And that's a big off. That is a big off for Tim Keane. That is going to be certainly a slow down penalty. He exited stage left, and that is not the place where you want to do it. At Acque Minerali, he went straight on at the second part. I think he might have missed his braking point as Landon Stewart, who's got the fastest lap of the race, has got a slow down penalty, which he needs to serve quickly before he gets the inevitable black flag, and he served it now. So well done to Landon Stewart for getting that out of the way, but he's now lost a big chunk of time to Adrian Puebla, and Puebla now is 2.1 seconds up the road. Christian Ruiz in the lead of the GTD Pro-Ams is also has got a slow down penalty against his name, so he will have to serve that now, and he's decided to go.
Avery Hart has had an incident here, and my famous slow motion replays.
Oh, that's why Olivier Charbonneau ended up in the pits. So Avery Hart got literally yeeted off the circuit and managed to keep a hold of it despite.
Let's go back and see a little more of the whole thing here. With this is Charbonneau here.
I think he's just going to right. Let's just see. Now this is coming into Vatsa onto the curbing.
Oh
back
my
end
God!
steps out.
He just wow!
I think probably there was a bit too much speed coming into turn 17 at least, and I think he probably just went. He's probably tried to hit the brakes.
So,
it's too late.
I'm going to look at that one more time. I think I'm going to try to look at the short version of it here, but I think that he had some kind of failure there, like an equipment failure, because he doesn't.
Well, no, he's no.
He's
If you see
still
what
hanging on to it, yeah, he's trying to hang on to it, yeah.
Because if from what I saw, Charbonneau clipped the grass, and that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Especially when you got two wheels on the tarmac. So all that traction on the back end is going to really, really compromise the right rear. And so he's tried to steer it. It's clipped, so you've got half the curb. Well, the middle part of the car's on the curb. The two wheels that are on the grass have got no traction whatsoever to speak of. And goodbye Vienna, I'm afraid.
Literally. We got Lucia Tosi and Jacob Grube is not that far behind. These two have battled all season, and with Avery Hart, that's been the top three in the pro GTD category all season long. So that's been a lot of fun to watch. So these two will probably end up battling the whole race here.
I mean, when you think about it, Lucia took the win at Silverstone in that rain-filled affair.
What a win that was, too, man.
Yeah, but look at this. Oh, my God, Avery Hart is jumping at the bit, and he's right on the back of Curtis Polisu, and also, who is that? That's one of the
Weinrich.
Porsches.
That's
Weinrich, John Weinrich there. And so Avery Hart is chomping at the bit. I mean, he's very, very lucky he got away with all the damage, but Oliver Charbonneau did come back did manage to get the car repaired, but round the outside at Tosa. Now that is an impressive move, as it's Porsche wheel to wheel heading into the left-hander, which is Piratella. And Weinrich to the outside. He got the overshot, got the slingshot done. It was the side draft that made it work at that point. So good job by him to get through on John Weinrich, who's currently running P2 in the GT3 Pro-Am division. But he's only about... Well, how far is he behind? John Weinrich at the minute is about 5 seconds behind Christian Ruiz, who is leading quite comfortably in the GTD Pro-Am side of things. So, but Avery Hart,
yeah, he's about, I don't know, 12 seconds behind Lucia Tosi or so. But, pit stops, a little pit stop strategy. Maybe conserve fuel and buy yourself an extra lap. But he clearly is not conserving fuel right now. He's driving the wheels off that thing, trying to get back in the fight here. Which let's take a look real quick. We got everything kind of, well, we don't really. Let's wait and let this pass happen here, because this is a class pass.
That was just slipstream. That was just pure slipstream. We know that the Porsche isn't always the best car for straight line speed, but at a circuit where you need handling, like here at Imola, I mean, through my adventures through Porsche Sports Cup Suisse as their commentator and presenter, they had track temperatures of over 43 degrees Celsius on the circuit. It was 38 ambient air this year. I wasn't there at the circuit, but I managed to get a look at the live stream, and seeing a GT3 muscle its way around this circuit is absolutely mighty, especially when you've got a car that can corner on rails like the Adrenaline Motorsports entry of Avery Hart at this juncture.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to get at. I'm going to touch on these points real quick. GTP class, obviously Nevy Thompson is, that's a dominant situation there. this season. At this point, Tim Keene, with 2 races to go, I don't believe can catch him. But what I really wanted to get over here, obviously LMP2 is over. So you got Avery Hart here, who's in a battle with Jacob Grube, and Lucia's probably out of the mix for the championship at this point. But Jacob Gruber and Avery Hart, that's still a battle, and that happening to Avery certainly set him back. Being that there's not a lot of cars here, it's not going to horribly hurt him, because he won't fall that far behind in positions. But so that's still a live, hot battle for the championship there in that class. And obviously Weinrich over here is got a reasonably comfortable lead over Jason LePan, who just had a black flag. I'm not really sure why, to be honest. I saw he had a black flag this early in the race. I can't imagine it would be for incident points, so it's kind of, I didn't really understand unless he was in the pits. He probably got some sort of pit penalty, but it looks like he's out of the race.
Been in there for nearly 5 minutes, Jim, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah,
so Jason's not going to be coming out anytime soon. He might try and come out and get some points on the board just to help him a little bit, but we've got a really good battle here. This is the battle between Cloden and Keane once again. Now Keane, hopefully, as they say, once bitten, twice shy, will not do that exit stage left like he did in the second half of Acque Minerali a few laps ago.
Well, I was going to say earlier, I meant, sorry to interrupt you, I meant to say this earlier. We were watching practice and everything. You and I were talking and just, BSing. I watched him go off there at least twice.
Yeah,
so,
it's not.
He's struggling with that turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's not sitting right with him or whatever. But I watched him go off twice during practice and maybe qualifying while we were sitting here chatting, and in that very spot. So that's clearly a tough corner for him.
Yeah, it's not an easy one to master Acque Minerali because it's downhill from Piratella. You then got to go on, stamp on the brakes from 4th to 2nd gear. Then you're up the hill and you're turning right whilst trying to accelerate up the hill at the same point. As we ride on board with Tim Keane, who's down 1 spot, started P3 on the grid, but is trying to close in on the sister Porsche in front of him, the 206 of Kenneth Cloden. So this is still going to be a pretty interesting battle. Meantime, Adrian Puebla has now racked up a gap of nearly 5.8 seconds over Landon Stewart in the GTP classification side of things. Between Lucia Tosi and Jacob Gruber, it is 3.2 seconds that is the gap. The gap between Christian Ruiz and John Weinreich now is effectively the best part of nearly 10 seconds as our leaders get through. And that was on Charbonneau as I think, with nearly 6.5 minutes in pit road. The number 27 of Jason LePan, I think, is our first retirement of the evening.
Yeah, it would appear that way, wouldn't it? Which is, somewhat unfortunate. I mean, he's in the title fight. By the way, I wanted to mention that since you haven't been around, Tim Keene's dad works for a GTP team. I can't remember if he's a strategist engineer or if he is like a setup engineer, but he does work in IMSA for a GTP team. So, and obviously, so last year he was helping Tim with his setups, and which obviously helped.
So is there another Tim Keane in the family? Because I think I know who you're talking about.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know his dad's name, or I just know that his father works for a GTP team as either like a strategist engineer or like a setup engineer, something like that. We haven't talked to him too much this season, but last season we had picked his brain a little bit about that. So, obviously he's very proud of his father's career, And
I know of a Tim Keane who's worked with Chip Ganassi.
I mean, I don't know how many
That might,
I don't know how many Tim Keens there are out there in the racing world. You know what I mean? Like that.
or in the family.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that no. I think if he's probably named after his father. That's entirely possible. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to him tonight, and you could ask him because I don't. Does Ganassi does he have a GT team? Yeah, he used to. Yeah, used
to be. Yeah, used to be. Well, Chip Ganassi ran the Ford GT program on the GT's. Ford's return to Le Mans for the first time in 50 years since the 1966 win. When Bruce McLaren was one of the pilots that year.
I got the shirt on right now.
Exactly.
I got the 68 Ford GT shirt on right now from Le Mans.
Yeah, so, I mean, when you think about it, when Carroll Shelby was involved in that program, the late, great Carroll Shelby.
Yes.
And that was very much put into the Hollywood side of things with the film.
Yes.
Ford versus Ferrari with Messrs. Matt Damon and Christian Bale, who played a man who was taken, unfortunately, before his time in the world of sports cars, the late, great Ken Miles.
Yep, Ken Miles. There's a lot of stories about Ken, and I think the movie kind of clouded that a little bit. I think a lot of that was true, but then some of it wasn't. Some of it was Hollywooded up. But Ken Miles was a phenomenal driver, extremely fast, and he played a huge part in developing that Ford car with Carroll that ended up going over and beating Ferrari that year. And he did get robbed in that whole three across the line finish.
Oh yes, because he was ordered by Ford Motor Company, as they were known back then, by the marketing team to bring it across the line and slow down. And then because Bruce McLaren had started a little bit further back in the field, it was based on the amount of distance covered, not the first one that crossed the line. But nevertheless, the story of Ken Miles lives on as Ford now will be returning to GTP action in IMSA in 2027. I could not be more excited because you'll have the GT4s, you'll have the GT3s, which obviously one of the interesting things I love about the way that Ford has gone about their road and race car development. The GT race car was developed at the same time as the road car, and now of course the offspring of the GT3 has got the GTD nomenclature on as the fire-breathing 800 brake horsepower road car, which has a 5.4 litre supercharged V8 and has all the kit and caboodle, and it's all in Avery Hart. That was a launch and a half. That was like Michael Knight back in the 80s in ski mode with kit.
I was thinking more Dukes of Hazzard, but yeah, that's that was.
Well, yeah, good old Bo and Luke.
That's right. No, we had some earlier in the season. There was some phenomenal launches at COTA. Some of these, Avery was one of the ones that launched one at COTA too. He actually tore his car up. He hit the curb so hard and it landed so hard at COTA. As we were riding on board here with Christian Ruiz, who leader in GT in the GT Pro-Am, GT3 Pro-Am cars. Ruiz is pretty fast. I could see him moving up next season as well. He's been very quick all season.
Meantime, in the GT3 Pro, Lucia Tosi has now got Gruber right on her rear bumper at the moment as they come out of Tosa up the hill through into Piratella. And, of course, well, Jacob we know anyway. And there we go. The Castrol livery back on a McLaren again. Lovely. It. But, again, it just goes to show how competitive these drivers will be. Sparks fly from the undercarriage of the McLaren as it bottoms out going through the first sort of like compression zone into Acque Minerali, but Lucia Tosi for the Galaxy Team Esports crew in the Porsche is going to have
Gruber is all over her.
I know, like a bad rash on a Sunday, and that just goes to show how quickly. And there we see Mike Nitti getting through at breakneck speed, and hopefully this does not open the door for Gruber to get through. It did there, and the Castrol McLaren, the number 18, just Lucia, she gets her nose ahead in the Porsche. Keeps it very, very close to the Armco barriers on the right-hand side and nearly clips it.
Good job
still,
there,
that's a great defense from Lucia as they head into the braking zone here for Tamburello. So at this point, it's normally coming out of the Livatsa that you really, really get that opportunity to have a good run, because it's not exactly a start-finish straight. It's more like a kinked start-finish straight here at Imola. So you've got to gather it up, but then you've also got to put a little bit of steering input. But Gruber, again, just so close. That McLaren's so much more powerful in a straight line than the Porsche. Of course, 4-litre naturally aspirated flat-six boxer engine. Powering the rear wheels over the back axle of that Porsche 992 GT3R, and then the McLaren 720S GT3. I still remember when it came on any kind of sim racing service, it was known as the Torque Monster. 700 Newton meters of torque from the back axle of that M840, and that is the designated serial number of the engine, the 4-litre twin-turbo V8, mid-mounted, and you can see how close he's getting, and he turns around! Oh no! Gruber just carried too much speed, a little bit of a tap to the back of Tosi, and Gruber goes around, and Avery Hart capitalises, and now in Pro it's a GT3R 1-2 for Porsche, with Avery Hart getting through.
So I think that he got too good of a run there, and I think when he stomped the brakes, I think it came around on him, is I believe what actually happened. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. That, and then I'm going to jump back so that I got time to
I think helicopter would be a real, actually good call there, Jim, to go on board. So they're now going to head down into, so one, two. The backhand swap to the front. Yeah, I think he might be right with the brake situation there.
Yeah, I think he, he probably had his brake bias set at something where he wasn't planning on stomping him quite as hard as he just did there, because she got a bad run through that through the curbing there, through those big sausage curbs, and he basically was going to hit her, and I think he tried to get off of her and lost it there, which is unfortunate, but not to be forgotten here. Avery Hart, who we obviously saw get in trouble earlier when he got taken out. He's back to within a little over 4 seconds from Lucia, and of course now obviously ahead of Jacob Gruber by
5.4 seconds now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, I'm looking at the lap times. Avery Hart's last lap was a 1:41.7. Lucia's last lap was a 1:42, a mid 1:42.0.
I think she's saving fuel.
I think she's
known for that. She's known for being able to save fuel. So the way these races have been structured, we've seen a lot where the GT3 cars, the GTDs, had to stop a second time for a splash of gas, or they had to conserve pretty decently. So my guess is that she's probably trying to conserve to some degree, maybe. I guess we'll see.
She's just done her personal bests previously on sectors 2 and sectors 4 on the circuit, Jim. So I think there might be a little bit of lift and coasting maybe when she's going into, say, Tamburello, for instance, at turns turns 2 to 4, because turn 1 is actually the slight kink when you come across the start-finish stretch, and then it's considered, according to the track map I've got, that when we have got 21 corners, it's quite significant when you think about it. But I'd like to see if we could go on board with. We're going to see a replay with John.
Weinrich here. This is probably the worst camera in the world. Let's see. Oh no, yeah, okay, that's not. Well, what's weird is, okay, then he went to the pits after this. So did he just choose to pit? Because
25-minute mark. I mean, what's the fuel cap for the drivers for the fuel tank?
You would ask me that. That's Hamish's department. I run the cameras. What do I know?
It's
in our broadcast notes.
Blame Hamish.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's not here. He's getting blamed for everything. Let's see here. It should be in our broadcaster notes somewhere along the way.
Well, what I was going to say, maybe, if let's see if we can go on board with Lucia.
Can. Yep.
And get the telemetry up on the inputs, so it really gives you folks at home an indication of the speeds that she's pushing through the corners. So we're on board with her now.
Our dashboard up here.
So through Tozer, second gear, 60 miles an hour. Now it's up to third. And then when the rev counter goes blue on the Porsche, it means shift up. So third gear and fifth gear into Penultimate at about 130 plus miles an hour. Down the hill at fourth, 120. Is she going to shift up to fifth? No, she won't. Keeps it in fourth through the first part of Acque Minerali. Now 60 miles an hour on the exit in second gear. Now up the hill and on the approach into Variante Alta. So at this point, she's going to be very, very competent. Second gear, I think first gear is not really a good way to go through Variante Alta, because you're not going to get that traction coming out of that second part of that chicane. You want to keep the momentum quite considerable. 149 miles an hour in fifth gear before she brakes hard for Rivatsa at turn 18. Now turn 19. Second gear, 68 miles an hour on the apex. Now powers through turn 20, up the gearbox now to what will be 130 miles an hour, up to fifth. She's going to be across the line at around about velocity of about 100, just over 150 miles an hour, 156, 159, 160. Let's have a look how hard she brakes. So down, and that is a scrubbing off of nearly 90 miles an hour, down 3 gears through into Tamburello, and that's just really giving you all a bit of an insight on how Lucia Tosi for Galaxy Team Esports is really manhandling this car around the circuit. And the thing is now, well, no, I mean, there was no pun intended there. No pun intended. I know, but the thing is that between her and Jacob Gruber, who's now up back into second position, the gap is 8.1 seconds. Avery Hart has come into pits and is out, as we see Tim Keane, Landon Stewart and Kenneth Clodin in the pit lane. So Landon Stewart on his marks for 25.5 seconds. Tim Keane a little bit longer in the pit lane, 26.25, as Adrian Puebla still carrying on. And over the number 95 Hertz Jota tribute band Cadillac of Daniel Nans in second position. The lead is about 30 seconds or so, which will give Adrian Puebla plenty of time. But we are coming up to that halfway point, so I would say maybe just probably getting between the 30 to the 35-minute mark, where we see that Puebla now dives into pit road. And I would imagine that Daniel Nans, Mike Nitti Jr., they haven't pitted yet. I think they will be in this time.
Yeah, probably so. I would think so. Maybe stretch it one more lap if. But I think they're at this point they're probably okay to good to go from here. I would think we're at the halfway mark, so they should be.
Yeah, so there we go. Daniel Nans in the pit lane. Jacob Gruber in the Castrol McLaren. Mike Nitti Jr. coming through Variante Alta now. So let's see if now this is a bright livery. If you had Google Maps on Imola right now,
I love this car.
If you had Google Maps on Imola right now and it was the virtual Google Maps, you'd have Mike Nitti Jr.'s car front and center.
Yeah, no, I love that livery. He's run all year. It's yeah, bright and colorful, and yep, he is pitting as well. And let's see, Landon Stewart. Landon's already pitted, so he's going to continue on.
Yep, so 50 miles an hour, the speed limit, 80 kilometers an hour here in the pit lane at Imola.
Wonder when she's going to decide to pit. So let's see. Right now, well, Christian Ruiz is 5 seconds behind her, but he's in a different class, obviously. And
Yeah.
Gruber is now, I guess, what?
Gruber's 14 seconds.
14, yeah.
Yeah, 14 seconds adrift, and then he's got Curtis Polisu in the Scaramanga edition car. I mean,
I literally can see Scaramanga driving that.
What was? Oh yeah, I remember he had a little servant as well, Knick-Knack.
Oh yeah, Knick-Knack, of course. Tattoo.
Yeah.
The same guy that Harvey Vilchez.
Yes.
What did he drive in that? He was driving like an AMC, like a Gremlin or something, wasn't it?
Something like.
Yeah, it was like an AMC Gremlin or something.
Was that?
That was the one that the one sprouted wings. You remember?
My goodness. I'm trying to remember.
I'm a Bond nut, so.
Oh, you're. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, the car stunt where
yes.
he had where he had the
sheriff from Louisiana.
The AMC. Yeah. Roger Moore goes, "Hold on, boy," and it's the AMC, and it was the AMC Hornet.
It was a Hornet. Okay, yeah.
It was a Hornet, and it like.
He did the 360 barrel roll thing with it when he jumped across the river. Yeah. Hold on, boy. I love Roger Moore, man. He doesn't get enough. He doesn't get enough love as James Bond at all.
May he rest in peace. I mean, he was one of the most comedic Bonds, and I think he just brought that.
But he played it well, though. You know, there's a difference between being goofy and having that. He had a layer of. He brought a level of elegance, but comedic. You know, he didn't lose the elegance of Bond. You know, in that, which most people would.
Yeah, I still remember he played a spoof character who was pretending to be an aristocrat. Yeah, which I think had the late great John Candy in it as well, driving a BMW 750.
You talking about? You're talking about something different than I am. I was talking about the Cannonball Run movie that he played a spoof of himself.
Yes, and John Candy was, I think, was in the film.
Was he? I don't think Candy was in there.
Well, no, there was a film. There was a.
So Ruiz and Polisu are in the pits.
It was Cannonball Fever. I think I think it was Cannonball Fever, which might have been the one. I'm not sure.
I've never even heard of Cannonball Fever.
Well, it was under another film. It was called Speed Zone, but then I'm just trying to remember what film.
Not the original Cannonball Run with Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise and. I've never seen you this stumped over a movie. Usually, you run over me with movie trivia.
Yeah, well, there's so many films. I mean, I'm an 80s kid, and then...
As am I. Well, I was an 80s teenager.
Yeah, I was... No, there was a film that Roger Moore did.
Blink there. Holy cow.
Oh, Adrian Puebla.
That was a huge blink. Man, I'd hate to see him get sent home here with a 13-second lead and get blasted to the pits because of his blinking. That would be horrific.
Yeah. I think trying to remember what film it was with regards to with regards to Roger Moore, but yeah, it stumped me. But there was a film that he played an aristocrat, or he. Oh well, there we go. Oliver said this. Unfortunately, I can't rave without Oliver. Our good friend Mr. Charbonneau has retired from the race and he's joined everyone in the YouTube chat. He said, "This is Oliver. You've named the pronunciation of my name. I'm glad we can oblige, Oliver. Unfortunately, I can't race without taking myself out, and it looks like he's become the latest casualty, I'm afraid, on lap 15.
Yeah, well,
So
that was it was Charbonneau that got involved in that situation that hit Avery Hart as well, right? That was that incident, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Yeah, I think so. But Adrian's just got himself a little bit of a slowdown penalty. Oh
Sure
dear.
did.
Yeah, well, I did say about speed in Imola, it doesn't always mix, but Adrian's now served that slowdown penalty rather quickly. So the gap has only gone down between him and Landon Stewart to just over 11.3 seconds. Starting to close a little bit more now because Adrian's last lap was 1:32.0. Landon was exactly 1 second quicker, and I love the look of this Acura. It gives me like those Wayne Taylor Racing vibes
Yes.
when they were using the Acura. One of my friends who's raced with them for quite a few years, who I knew through his DTM days at Audi. We do keep in touch from time to time. Felipe Albuquerque from Portugal. Very, very credible driver. Christian Ruiz has got a big old black flag. Now, could this be one of the reasons? Oh, dear. Now, was that an assist or did he do that on his own?
I'm trying to figure that out here. Let's see. This and that. No, that was on his own.
On his own, yeah. So
why did he get a black flag, though?
Probably for track. Probably for if he's gone on the maximum of his incident points. Yeah. So Christian's having to serve that black flag penalty.
He did go off track again right after that, I think, and this is about where.
Oh, this is into Rivarsa, so he's going to turn it in. Car understeers like nobody's business, and off he goes.
And then he immediately goes into the pit. So the question is he serving the black flag here, or did he get in too hot and that caused him to get a black flag?
I think it was probably when he over-rotated going through into Acque Minerali. And I was right, yeah. Well, you know what I said about Oliver having that moment where Avery Hart? He has just confirmed exactly what I said, which was clip the grass when a crash, lack of skill and practice, then decided to log off and watch instead.
Oh, there you
fair
go.
play,
well,
Oliver.
Glad to have
play.
You watching.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was a drive-through for Ruiz, so that would indicate that that was a incident limit penalty. Because if it would have been a speeding, he would have had to stop and hold. So that would have been an incident limit. So that's problematic with, over 20 minutes left in this race, and now every 5 incident points you occur another one, I believe it is. So these could start racking up pretty quick and could, he can't afford too many more of those before his lead is in jeopardy here in class.
Yeah, and because John Weinrich is about 5.4 seconds behind as Gruber and Polistul battling again like two modern-day gladiators on the sim racing space, and it's 2 tenths between the McLaren and the Aston Martin. Woking versus Gaydon, if you want to class it as a soccer team, for both respective car manufacturer locations. Even though I don't think they might have some second or third league teams, who knows? But I'm not a big fan of English soccer, to be honest with you.
Me either. So one thing I did notice there was Polistul carrying down, I don't know the name, how I am about names, the first chicane there. When he came down into that area, he was only carrying about 160 miles an hour. When we were riding on board with Lucia Tosi earlier in that same area, she carried upwards of like 164 or 63 into there. So she was carrying a lot.
Polis, who's got through. He got through. at Acque Minerali of all places, because Mike Nitti Jr., well, with that high-vis caddy, you can't exactly miss it. They thought, well, we need to keep... Well, I think Gruber decided, I'll keep out of the way. Polisu went, well, I'll go for it, and then job done. But the battle is still not over yet. We're at 2/3 of the way through this penultimate round of this season of the High Point Racing IMSA Championship here at Imola. A big thank you to everyone that is watching along on the Motormouth Broadcasting YouTube channel. So we're going to see the replay here. Now, this is where Polisu decides. Now, this, don't tell me this is round the outside at the... Oh, well, I
nice,
think Gruber...
Gruber backed off, though, to let that...
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He could have defended it, but I think what he didn't want to do was to dent his pride and dent another vehicle at the same time. So Curtis took full advantage of that and just made it stick and just made it work and thought, well, I've got the room here. I'm going to take advantage of it. It's P3, but you've still got nearly 19 minutes to go to hold on to that third position, my friend.
Well, I've got opinions. I do not think that this is a Scaramanga car. I am of the opinion that this would be more of a Goldfinger car.
Well, we can agree. We can agree to disagree as gentlemen, can't we?
We can. The world needs to learn that. But that's a whole nother story.
True. True.
Yeah, I just see this more as a Goldfinger car myself, which I have to say is probably up in the top 3 of my all-time favorite Bond films. Number 1, far and away, is Thunderball for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just the underwater stuff that they did back in the 60s when they filmed that was absolutely incredible. It's still great underwater action by today's standards, and it was done in the 60s. And Live and Let Die is one of my favorites also. It was Roger Moore's first Bond film, but it was also filmed in my hometown in Louisiana, which is where your old boy the sheriff came from, who later appeared in Goldfinger. I mean, in
yes,
Man with the Golden Gun. So he was originally in Live and Let Die with his brother J.W. in the fast boat.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah, Live and Let Die. I think that was the one with was that with Yaphet Kotto? I think, who was the bad guy.
Yes, and what was the girl's name that played Solitaire?
Jane Seymour.
Seymour, yes, Jane Seymour. What she was like.
Now, also a little bit of film trivia. Yaphet Kotto starred alongside the former governor of California, 7-time Mr. Olympia, champion bodybuilder, and Hollywood action legend Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first film rendition of The Running Man. Would you believe it?
He was in The Running Man? I just watched
Yeah, he
that
played
the other
Laughlin.
night.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, I watched the original.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, he was the guy that played Laughlin.
Really? I didn't even realize that. Yeah, he was a good bad guy in that Bond movie. Bless you. He was a good.
Thank you.
He was a good bad guy.
Oh, well, hang on a second. Hold the phone.
Gruber's not done here. Look.
Polisu made a bit of a hash of Variante Alta there, I'm afraid.
Easy
Walloping
to do.
into both curbs. Yeah, it is so easy to do at that point. But this battle is going to rage on like a bonfire on Guy Fawkes Night on November 5th in the United Kingdom. But more to the point, I mean, it's great to see that these drivers are still giving chase. More to the point, well, Avery Hart is around about the 4.9 second to the, well, differential in comparison with Lucia Tosi, who is on course to take her second win of the series.
Yes.
Now, so the good thing is Lucia's done a really, really good job at the moment and has not put a foot wrong.
No.
And that's the thing round here at Imola. You've got to, as we would say in the United Kingdom, cross the T's, dot the I's. Don't leave any stone unturned and don't leave anything to chance as well. You can see how calm and how smooth that Porsche was handling through an Acque Minerali. Like literally down the gearbox into second gear, turn the car in, let the car do the work, and then accelerate out of the corner. You don't want to be going throttle mid-corner at the second part of Acque Minerali, because that, as we've seen, that will turn cars around. And more to the point,
especially a
John
Porsche.
Weinrich. Yes, well, but because then we always say the obvious Porsche doing Porsche things when things don't go right. Meantime, speaking of another Porsche, let's concentrate on GT3 Pro Am, because John Weinrich is closing in on Christian Ruiz for the GT3 Pro Am lead with just under 15 minutes to go.
Oh, he is. Yeah, this is starting to shape up into a nice little battle here. Well, they both had their little issues, you know. Ruiz had that issue, and Weinrich had one a little earlier in the race. But it's brought them back together here. And who else is that? Oh, that's, of course, our Daniel Nans there in his in the Hertz livery.
Yep.
It's good to see Nans getting some practice in on the GTP car for next season. That's going to be, I'm sure he's probably going to move up.
Yep, so it is going to be the case of 14 minutes to go. Let's round you through our current class leaders. Adrian Puebla leads overall in GTP ahead of Landon Stewart, with Tim Keane now making it a Porsche 1-3 in the GTP side of things. Lucia Tosi leads the way in the GT3 Pro as we see Puebla pick up a slowdown penalty. Tim Keane, I think, has just done the same thing at Variante Alta and has also got a quick slowdown penalty that he's just served. But then we've got GT3 Pro Am Christian Ruiz in the Lamborghini, and there is John Weinrich closing in hand over fist. And this is a true battle that is going to come down to the wire if Weinrich does not make mistakes by going a little bit too deep into Tosa, and that has pushed the gap up to a second. Meantime, Avery Hart has just taken nearly 9/10 out of Lucia Tosi for the GT3 Pro lead. Landon Stewart is now within 3 seconds of Adrian Puebla. So here at Imola, I've got a funny feeling we are going to have some very, very close finishes when we get to the end of 60 minutes here at Imola, Jim.
Well, I think Tosi, it looks like that she might have had a bad lap there, like maybe, potential off, something where she had to lift or something that cost her a good bit of time. We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see how that balances out, if that's a speed issue, like her tires are going away or something, or fuel, or if that was just, a little boo-boo there happened on the one lap,
Yeah, I think, when it's a 60-minute race and you're racing on your own, this track is very... Now, what on earth was happening there? I mean, Christian Ruiz nearly ended up in the pit lane by accident. That is the quickest code brown I've ever seen, where a driver's gone, oh no, that's the pit lane. It's like a Clarkson, Hammond and May moment all over again. But nevertheless, he kept it out of pit lane, and he kept it out of the tyre stack. Now, if anyone's seen that infamous BMW M4 GT4 that tries to go into the pit lane at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, smacks the tyre barriers going into pit lane, and the bumper hits the windshield, and that's it, game over, because it completely obliterates the engine as well. And it was caught live on air. That just goes to show how things can be so, at this point, we're nearly 50 minutes in, Jim. It's a demanding circuit. These drivers have been at full push, for the practice, for the qualifying, whereby Ruiz has really caught himself out unawares there, because he's just lost a big amount of time.
Oh, no, that was huge right there.
Yeah, clipped the inside sausage curbs, did Christian Ruiz, and John Weinrich looking towards the outside now. He's looking to the run into Variante Alta. Let's see how they both negotiate it. And Weinrich takes it a little bit neater, but a little bit slower as well. So he's lost a little bit of time that he's just managed to gather up. But again, that they are mentally and physically at this point just running on pure adrenaline, caffeine, whatever's been IV'd into their system, possibly before the race has gone on. But I've just seen, oh, hang on a second. Landon Stewart has just set the fastest lap of the race at 1:30.4, and he is within striking distance. He's 1.1 seconds and closing
Oh
in
my
on
goodness.
Adrian Puebla. And
We
this
got battles
is going
all
to
over
be.
the place.
We have, and
Weinrich
Weinrich is.
and Ruiz here. We've got the
Yep.
Tozy Hart thing is closing down, and we've got Stewart and Puebla. Well, that's usually how these things go. They kind of separate out during the middle a little bit, and then they all kind of come back together towards the end.
Yeah, it is. It always ends up that the drivers that have been at the sharp end of the field, they've had clear air. They've been running their own races, and sometimes you can have that little lapse of concentration that sort of throws you a curveball at at the bottom of the ninth when you've got bases loaded with 2 strikes on you at that time. You just never know what might happen. And with the fact that the battles have been closing, I mean, Weinrich now has lost a little bit of time. But look at this. The GTP leaders are about to come over and lap the GT3 Pro-Am leaders as Landon Stewart has a bit of a wobble coming out of the second part of Acque Minerali. That hasn't cost him that much time. He's still within, that's 7 tenths. And now Puebla's got to get through very, very quickly. Ruiz has just got a slowdown penalty in GT3 Pro. Weinrich keeps out of the way. Good spatial awareness by the man in the number 72 Porsche, but we are really coming down to the crescendo here at Imola. And now Christian Ruiz has got Puebla flashing the lights at him as big rate of speed. Stewart goes to the outside. Ruiz goes, what the heck was that? And has just served his slowdown penalties. The GTPs are hitting nearly 190 going into the braking zone into Tamburello. So Landon Stewart, let's just have a look at this moment. Landon has not won a race this season. Adrian, who, as you rightly said at the top of the show, Jim, that hasn't been around that much, but the Mexican has kept himself out front for the meantime, but Stewart is chasing him down. He's wanting to reel him in hook, line and sinker, and the gap is now less than 7 tenths, and for the first time under a second between Tozy and Hart. So it's the battle of the Porsches in GT3 Pro. So, and Clodin and Nans are getting a bit closer to each other. So there is Avery Hart from the Adrenaline Motorsport entry in the number 13 as they go through at this point of the circuit. And again, just Avery Hart just throwing caution to the wind. He knows that there's a possibility of maybe getting another win. Now, bearing in mind, Avery Hart won at Road Atlanta, then won again at Sebring round 3. And his last win, according to the schedule, was back at round 5 at Watkins Glen in the penultimate weekend of October.
He went on a good run there for a little while. He was just on a tear. But yeah, of course the class is not very big today, but there's been a lot of good cars in this field over the season. So she just had a big wiggle there on the rear end, got loose on the paint on the curb, and that's going to do her in, I believe.
Well, Avery Hart decided to show a little bit of patience is a virtue kind of thing there, because
good point. He's going to follow that GTP car though. Let's see. Nope.
Yeah, well, no, not really. I think Tim Keane just got he was like a bat out of hell, and he's gone like a bat out of hell until he Vatsa, and then he's going to get a slowdown for that one.
Yep, and then he's going to come back and pass him again.
Yeah, but now here's the slipstream moment that we have been waiting to see here in GT3 Pro. This is at over 140 miles an hour. We're right on board with Avery Hart as he closes in on Lucia Tosi. And this is going to be the run into Tamburello. Hart tries to the outside at over 160 miles an hour down the gearbox into second gear over the curbing. Might get a run going into Villeneuve very, very shortly. But look at the apex speed he's carrying out of turn number 4. Into turns 5 and 6 we go of Variante Villeneuve. And of course,
he really is being patient.
He is. I think he's waiting for that opportunity. I mean, he's not gonna. If he don't, you can't. We've seen it where one driver's trying to go around the outside of Tozer. It doesn't quite work there. Acque Minerali might be the next opportunity, but that is a bit too close for comfort. You don't want to go too wide into there, as we've now got. Oh, there's a big punt from behind.
Hello?
And Clodin and Nuns have just both got black flags. And Hart has just got the lead from Tozy because she was caught up in all of that.
And Landon Stewart just passed Puebla.
I really want to have a look back.
We will. Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, that was heartbreaking for Lucia Tozy. And she was at the front end of the queue, so can I have a look at the replay here? So Kenneth Clodin. Now, this is going to be him coming into... he's just done exactly what Tim Keane has done a moment ago. So they've both gone on their over their incident limit points, the pair of them. So I think what happened... Lucia Tozy... Oh, hang on. Tozy's just got back on Avery Hart in the No, I think this is probably because of the replay. But... yeah, Kenneth Clodin. So we're gonna look at this. We know that there are still battles happening at the moment, but the big thing is that Clodin and Nans were really closing in, and they caught up to them, and it was heading into Rivazza. So it's coming out of Toza. So it's coming out. So this is where the drama happens, and here comes Nans. Bang! Straight in.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it was Nans that went straight into the back of Clodin, and Avery Hart ended up in front of Lucia Tozy.
Was Culloden thinking there? Like, why do you stomp the brakes like that in a GTP car?
Well, no, you didn't need. Yeah, he just took. Oh,
that was crazy. Like he had that pass made on the GT3s, and he just stopped.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of.
Do you think he felt like he couldn't make the turn or something?
I think he just bottled it. If I'm honest with you, there, Jim, because it just didn't look like to me. It was just way too much. So he's carried the speed, he's made the move. And he could have braked probably another 25 minutes later. Nans has got nowhere to go. Ends up, putting a gap between Tozy and Hart. And Tozy being the big loser on that. But in the meantime, we've rejoined.
She did get back by him.
Yeah, so I'm not too sure if there was a little bit of sporting.
Well, let's see if there was. That would be really cool if it was. So.
Yeah, or unless Avery Hart's dropped it, that's the other thing that could have happened. So let's just see. Oh no, he is slowing. He is slowing going into Rivazza. So
he did let her go back by. No, I think he let her go back by. Wow. Okay, what a class act that is, huh?
I think Avery wants to do the move nice and clean, and he's got through on Lucia again, but this time on merit. So, but the thing is, all I'm going to say to Avery is you might have just gotten through on her, but there's still time to go. Right, Landon Stewart.
Yeah.
Did he? Landon Stewart's just had to do a splash and dash.
Did he?
He's lost the lead.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're watching all the other stuff and we're missing the current action. It seems like. All right, let's get a grip on where we're at here. So yes, Stewart is definitely splash and dashed. He is out. So Puebla's got the lead back in the GTP class, providing he does not have to stop for fuel.
No, exactly. And we have
is back in the lead here.
John Weinrich's been in pit lane as well. Have some people mistimed it on fuel? That is the big thing, because John was leading the class, and that's handed Christian Ruiz the GT3 Pro-Am victory on a silver platter. Adrian Puebla is going to get the white flag the next time we go by.
Daniel Nance is around, and Puebla's coming in.
Puebla's, he was also short on fuel. What on earth has happened?
That's what I was saying, man. The way this has been, we've seen so many of these races where guys had to splash and dash right at the end unless you saved. And Avery Hart and Tozy may not be over just yet either. I've said I thought she was saving fuel earlier. Clearly Hart for a certain portion of this was not saving fuel. We'll see.
Yep.
Let's see
Well,
here.
well, the thing is, Avery Hart came in on lap 16 of this race.
Right, she came in
and
on
he's
20.
She came in on 20. So if Avery Hart is short on fuel, he will be in this time, and that will be embarrassing unless he's having to lift and coast, because I want to see how quickly that 1.8 second gap dwindles. Now it's gone up to 2.2, so
we also have to keep an eye on this, because this is going to be taking the checkered here.
Yeah, so that's Landon Stewart, and it's going to be the second non-Porsche victory of the season after what happened at Silverstone. And it is going to be Acura that's going to rule the roost in the GTP side of things. As, Ruiz comes in. Ruiz comes in as well. He's also done it.
I told you.
I cannot believe this. Maybe that Hart and Tozy, Polisu actually has been in for one pit stop. Jacob Gruber also in for one pit stop on laps 19 and 20 respectively. So, into here. Avery Hart is going to cross the line, but how marginal is he on fuel? Meantime, out of the final turn at Rivazza, it is going to be a win for Acura this time, not for Porsche, not for Caddy. Landon Stewart takes the W here at Imola in GTP. And let's just see what's happening here. So Tozy and Hart 2.7. That gap is coming down a little bit.
He's strong, though. He's not holding back at all. He must not be in a bad fuel situation. Does it look like he's going slow there? No, he's all right. No, I'm looking at his speed. He's fine. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, but it is going to be the fact that even with that splash and dash for Christian Ruiz, he's going to take the win, I think, very shortly in the GT3 Pro-Am side of things as Daniel Nance goes off at Acque Minerali and nearly comes into the path of Avery Hart. Talk about a code 3, DEFCON 5, I think there for Avery Hart at that point.
DEFCON 5 right there.
But he's coming out of Variante Alta for the final time on what will be lap 36 for the GT3 Pro division.
So he went
Christian Ruiz.
He went 20 laps on this tank of fuel, same as Tosi did on the first one.
Yeah, so looks like, even though Lucia did her best, she did one of the shortest pit stops of everybody, but Avery Hart is weaving from side to side, waiting for the lights to flash on the Adrenaline Motorsports Porsche, as he will pick up the win in GT3 Pro. Curtis Polisu takes P3, and Lucia Tosi had led the race in GT3 Pro for the majority of it, but still, nevertheless, a welcome way to finish here at Imola.
Yes.
P2, not a shabby. Christian Ruiz, is he going to do a J-turn in the Lamborghini? That's something you don't see. Well, he's lost the back end, and John Weinrich has won in GT3 Pro-Am as Christian Ruiz brings the Lamborghini Huracan, the Raging Bull of Sant'Agata Bolognese, across the line. And he decided...
He literally wrecked it.
Yeah, okay, so let's have a look. So through into Rivazza, hits the curve, and into the second part of it. Oh, right, that's where the car's gone. And there's John Weinrich saying, thank you very much. And then Christian Ruiz you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to reverse it across the line. I'm going to have a bit of fun.
Interesting. I mean, that was entertaining, especially when I just clicked on him and didn't know it was coming, and there he was going in reverse, so that was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, so...
That's the kind of thing that can get you DQ'd, though, can it?
I think, depends on regs. Depends on regs. But if the server's saying, if you're going the wrong way, then yes, I would understand it. But backwards at 70 miles an hour in reverse gear, that's got a pretty good high-speed ratio on it. But it's not quite enough what you need to go into Tamburello.
I have to say, that was pretty impressive, though. Nevertheless, he's doing a good job there. He kept it pretty straight. Is he gonna do a whole lap? This is gonna be like a... This is. I know, right? Well, the first thing that came to mind was the Polish victory lap, but that was just the wrong way. So I don't know.
Oh, well.
Entertaining anyway. All right, let's go see some race results.
So, Landon Stewart takes the win in GTP here at round 9 of the High Point Racing IMSA Championship here at Imola, winning ahead of Adrian Puebla, who had dominated for the majority of the race, but splash and dash for the two. Landon Stewart in the 37 Acura came out on top. Tim Keane takes the third place finish in the GTP class ahead of Daniel Nance and Mike Nitti Jr., our winner back at round 4 at Silverstone, rounds out your overall top 5. Avery Hart and Lucia Tosi battling all the way to the checkered flag, just 3.3 seconds apart after 36 laps of racing. A Porsche 1-2 in the Adrenaline Motorsports and Galaxy Team Esports contingent. Kenneth Clodin, 8th, ahead of Curtis Polisu in the Scaramanga Goldfinger edition. We'll do the double bubble on that one, I think, Jim.
All right, I'll take that.
So Curtis Polisu makes on debut a P3 in GT3 Pro ahead of Jacob Gruber, who at one point was battling with Lucia Tosi for the race win, ends up 4th. John Weinrich rounds out the winner, the winners in victory lane, let's say, in GT3 Pro-Am after Christian Ruiz drops it a Rivatsa and decides to reverse at 70 miles an hour to take P2 of the GT3 Pro class, rounding out your top 12. Oliver Charbonneau and Jason Lepan round out your 14 starters. Wig Santiago not ending up in on the grid or even in qualifying, and that rounds out your finishing order for this round of the championship. But before we close things out here on the stream, we've got time for a post-race interview, and I believe we have our winner in the GT3 Pro division set to join us. Let's bring him in, Avery Hart. Well, Avery, that was pretty close. A pretty good battle between you and Lucia in the dying stages of that race.
Yeah, that was interesting to say the least.
So
once the two GTPs hit each other.
yeah. Well, so we noticed there you slowed down to give her the lead back, didn't you?
I did, because I wanted a good fight.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's awesome show of sportsmanship. I love that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we noted from that was that you wanted to do the move on track, cleanly and fairly, and have that battle, like you rightly said. But it didn't go all to plan at the early part of the race, did it, either, Avery?
No. I think I got hit with a torpedo. Maybe I don't know, like a UAV was over me, and then an AC-130 just shot me in the back. I don't know what it was.
It was actually a German missile.
Launched from a Messerschmitt from Affalterbach, courtesy of Oliver.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a heat-seeking missile there.
A Mercedes heat-seeking missile took you out.
Yeah, and I was pushing hard after that to get back up the ranks again. But yeah, it was interesting to say the least. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, we definitely enjoyed watching you push too, because you could tell you were pushing hard. You were driving with very aggressive. I've seen you drive a lot this year, and that was some of the most aggressive I've seen you all year. So.
Well, I'm glad to put on a show for you guys. That was fun.
Well, with 15 cars on the grid, we needed a show, so that was good.
Yeah, you definitely gave it to us, Avery, and congratulations on your first W since Watkins Glen, would you believe it? It's been a long time, but now finally the drought is over here at the penultimate round of the season.
Yeah, thank you. It was interesting to say the least, because during quali, I noticed my wheelbase was not even aligned, so I had to take off the wheel, take off the extension, tie it back together, and it was that's why I missed quali pretty much. I mean, I was trying to do some laps in quali, I couldn't do it.
Well, nevertheless, you still put on a heck of a show at Imola here tonight, so well done on the W. Congratulations, Avery. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to shout out the High Point Racing for continuing this league, regardless of 15 people, 5 people. I mean, I on your side of things, for you guys, it's obviously more entertaining to have more drivers, but for the drivers that do show up, shout out to those guys as well.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, Avery, congrats on the win tonight, and of course, we'll see you next week at the Le Mans Series finale. Well done.
Awesome. Take it easy, guys.
All right, man.
A big thank you there to Avery Hart, and that really wraps things up here at Imola at the
It does.
Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. Jim, final thoughts before we close the show for the folks watching live on YouTube.
Well, like I said, it wasn't the largest grid we've ever seen, but we definitely had some good racing. It was great to see Adrian Pueblo back. Really missed him all year. He was very entertaining last season. Contender week in and week out, and demonstrated that here today. Great win by Landon Stewart in the Acura. That's fantastic. Love that. And John and Christian there at the end. Good battle. And another great win for John in the in the AM division. So yeah, overall we had some great racing. Considering, like I said, it wasn't the biggest field, and they kept us entertained all race. We, when we diverted off into a little James Bond every now and then, but other than that, we were we were well entertained.
Yeah, shout out to Curtis Pollis too in the number 12 Aston Martin GT3 Pro. But on that note, folks, thank you so much for joining us here for the penultimate round of the High Point Racing IMSA Championship Season number 3. The championship heads to its final battleground, the iconic Circuit de la Sarthe at Le Mans. Same time, same place, and you can catch all the action live and uninterrupted here on the Motormouth Broadcasting Network. You've been in the company of Alex Goldschmidt and Jim Cunningham. This has been a Motormouth Broadcasting production. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We'll see you next week as who will be crowned our High Point Racing IMSA champions. And as always, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, you better go fat out. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good night.